Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear devotees, this is a song by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Actually, Srila Rupa Goswami has said in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that all prayers to Bhagavan can be categorized into three main types. So, what are the three main types of prayers that all devotees can sing? So, I will give the name. You please repeat after me. First is called Samprarthanatmika.
Samprarthanatmika.
Samprarthanatmika means samyak. Prarthanatmika means in a mood of prayer. So a complete prayer for establishing one's relationship with Krishna is called as Samprarthanatmika. So some prayers are like this, which pray to Krishna that kindly establish my relationship with you. That is called Samprarthanatmika. Second type of prayer, please repeat, is called Dainya Bodhika.
Dainya Bodhika.
Bodhika means it expresses Dainya or humility. So this particular song that we sung is an example of the second type, which is called Dainya Bodhika. And the third type is called Lalasa Mai. Lalasa Mai means hankering for the eternal service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So like we are singing Tulsi Arti, it is having many verses which say that the devotee is hankering for the eternal service. Ei nivedana dharo sakhi anugar seva adhikar diye karo nija dasi. So here is the devotee expressing humility, or is the devotee praying for eternal service? Praying for eternal service. So that is known as Lalisamani. So today's song is Dainya Bodhika. Dainya Bodhika means it expresses Dainya or humility. The author is Sri Narottam Das Thakur. He says, Gauranga Karuna Karu, that, O Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you please bestow your mercy. Why? Because in the age of Kali, it is very difficult for a person to progress by himself on the path of bhakti. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have brought Sri Krishna Sankirtan or how to perform congregational chanting, then none of us could have become bhaktas. So we became bhaktas simply by mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now that we have become bhaktas, it is further needed to also have more mercy from him in order to become nice bhaktas. So Gauranga Karuna Karu. Why? Dina Hina Jane. Jane, understanding that I am right now not in a very good condition of spiritual life. Dina and Hina. I am fallen, downtrodden. And the author expresses in humility, Mosama Patita Prabhu. So, as fallen as me, O Prabhu, Nahe Tribhuvane. There is nobody in the three worlds. This is an expression of dainya or humility by the poet. Does the poet mean to say that there is absolutely nobody more fallen than him in the three worlds? He intends like this, but is the reality like that? Absolutely not. So, there are some statements which are based on dainya or humility. Then he says, Dante Trina Dhari, holding a straw between my teeth. Now, this is often confuses devotees as to what is the meaning of holding a straw between one's teeth. So, previously, it was an indication of humility to hold straw between one's teeth. Why? Because only domesticated animals would hold straw between their teeth previously. I hope you're able to understand. Huh? So, if you have a domesticated animal with you at home, that domesticated animal is completely under your control. So anybody who holds, a blade of grass between their teeth, they are indicating to the other person that I am like a domesticated animal staying at your home. So Dante Trinadhari Gaura, oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like a domesticated animal holding grass in his mouth. Daki hai tumhare. I call out to you. So Kripa Kari, bestowing mercy, Esho Amar. Sit, come and sit. Where should you sit? Hridaya Mandire, in the temple of my heart. Right. Why temple of my heart. Why not the eyes? Why not appear in front of my eyes? See, many times devotees are praying like this. Come and appear within my heart, not before my eyes. You see, Damodar Ashtakam also, Satyavrat Muni, fourth verse says, Manasi Avirastam. Fifth verse also, Manasya Avirastam Alam Lakshalabhai. Manasi Avirastam, appear in my mind. It's very important to appear within the mind of the particular devotee. Hare Krishna. Please welcome us. So let the Prabhus be seated here and Vaishnavis can sit there. So, Kripa Kari Esho Amar Hridaya Mandir. Bestowing your mercy, please come and sit in the temple of my heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, if I don't agree, what will you do? If I don't agree to come and sit in your heart, what will you do? So the author says, Yadi daya na karibe, patita dekh. If you don't bestow your mercy on me, seeing that I am fallen, then your reputation is at stake. Why? Because your name is Patita Pavan. Patita Pavan means you are the deliverer of those who are most fallen. Naam Kishera lagi hai. Then why did you assume that name? Actually, you should have not taken that name. You should have only taken the name, Sukrita Pavan. That somebody who delivers only those who are pious. But your name is Patit Pavan. So your name will be spoilt if you do not bestow mercy on me. So this is a unique way of threatening the Supreme Personality of God. We should threaten from time to time. See, when things don't work, there are many means, many ways to get things done.
Good to know that.
One of which is giving a threat. So, Padechi Bhava Tufane. Padechi, I have fallen. Bhava Tufane, in the storm of the material world. Nahika Nistara. And in this ocean of material existence, where there is a big storm where I have fallen, there is no way out, no recourse. So you please do one thing. Shri Charana Tarani Dane. You give me the Tarani, the boat of Shri Tarana, Shri Charana of your lotus feet. And Dana, give this donation to me. Dase Karo Par. And you please help this servant cross over the ocean. Finally, he says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Dasir Anudas. Actually, I am the servant of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prarthana Karaya Sada. I always pray like this. What is my name? Narottam Das. So, the author always indicates his name at the end of the poetry to say that who it was. So, dear devotees, this is Gauranga Karuna Kuru. 3 types of prayers. Some Prarthanatmika, to pray for establishing a relationship. Dainya Bodhika, to express humility. Lalsamai, to pray for perfection in an already established relationship. I hope you are able to understand. To pray for establishing a relationship, Samprarthanatmika. So, expressing humility, Dainya Bodhika. Lalsamai, and then to pray for perfection in an already established relationship. That is Lalsamai. Okay, so now today we are going to discuss a pastime from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this pastime is the fortunate wives of the Brahmanas, dear devotees. We are going to discuss Yajna Patni Leela from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and today there is a very nice commentator who is going to come. All right, this commentator, let's just say that I am pulling out the biggest gun from my arsenal, okay? Because it is Texas, So I am pulling out the biggest gun from my arsenal, okay? So before we begin, we should do little Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan means we should have some auspicious invocations. Most of us already know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So dear devotees, there is a very nice verse in Shastra. Panchabhihi sah sthathavyam gantavyam panchabhihi sah vaktavyam na dukkham panchabhihi sah. Panchabhihi sah sthathavyam. If you want to stay at one place, stay with at least 5 people. If you have a fight with one person, there are 4 other people you can talk to. Gantavyam panchabhihi sah. If you travel somewhere, travel with at least 5 people, because if you get into some trouble, there are 5 people to protect you. Panchabhihi sah vaktavyam. If you want to speak something, speak at least with how many people?
5.
Na dukkham panchabhihi sah. There is absolutely no unhappiness if there are at least 5 people present. There are more than 10 present here, so I have double the happiness. So I just want to request one thing from the devotees, that since we all have come here, please give me, I am begging for something, please give me a donation of your time, because sometimes it is very difficult to find time, especially when we are working, we have so many engagements. So at least for hearing some Krishna Katha, we should give some undivided time. See, there are 2 resources in life, one is money and one is time, and one of them is renewable, the other one is not. Money can be printed as much as you want, but can't get time back. So let's spend some time in quality Krishna Katha, because that is very nice, dear devotees. That experience is something which we all should have. All of us should give ourselves this gift of quality Krishna Katha. All of us deserve to treat ourselves with some nice Krishna Katha once in a while. And if we are more fortunate, we should treat ourselves with Krishna Katha every single day of our lives. And if we are even more fortunate, we should absorb ourselves 24 hours in Shri Krishna Katha. So dear devotees, at least let us give some quality time to Krishna Katha daily in our lives. So we will begin with a statement from Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has something to say, and this is what he has to say. And Mahabhava Prabhu.
The transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, are so powerful that simply by hearing, reading, and memorizing this book, Krishna, one is sure to be transferred to the spiritual world, which is ordinarily very difficult to achieve. The description of the pastimes of Lord Krishna is so attractive that it automatically gives us the impetus to study repeatedly. And the more we study the pastimes of the Lord, the more we become attached to him. This very attachment to Krishna makes one eligible to be transferred to his abode, Goloka Vrindavan.
Yeah. So this Srila Prabhupada says in Krishna book, at the very end of Krishna book, he's concluding. He's giving his concluding words in the last chapter. This is chapter 90 of Krishna book. In the 10th canto, there are 90 chapters. In the last canto, he is giving an essence of what Krishna book is meant for. So he says that these pastimes are very powerful. Simply by hearing, reading, and memorizing this book, Krishna, one is sure to be transferred to the spiritual world. See, Maya has only one task, and her one task is to make us constantly disappointed in our efforts to achieve Krishna Prema. And there are many things that she does. One of the things is she makes us feel completely unmotivated in our bhajan. But we have many people who can help us. See, the only condition is, are we willing to swim against the current? That is that is sadhan. Why are we called sadhak? We are called sadhak because we are strugglers. We struggle. If we give up and flow with the flow, then what is the point of being a yogi, a sadhak? The point of being a yogi, the point of being a sadhaka is that one constantly pushes against the current. It's a difficult life. Obviously, it is difficult to push against the current. It is so exhausting. But it is much more glorious than those foolish people who are flowing with the flow wherever Maya is taking them. It's a much more glorious life. Why? Because those who are flowing with the flow don't know where they are going next. They are happy with whatever they have. Rinam kritva gritam pibet yavat jivet sukham jivet. That is their philosophy. Take a loan, but purchase ghee and eat nicely. As long as you live nicely. This was Charvak in India, the first recorded atheist. Rinam kritva gritam pibet yavat jivet sukham jivet. So such people, they unfortunately do not have any idea where they are going next, although all the Shastra speaks very clearly. So dear devotees, we should struggle a little bit for our bhajan. And Prabhupada says, what is the struggle? Struggle is very sweet. You see, you have many people to help you. Today one person is coming. Okay, I have invited one person. He is going to come to help all of us relish this Leela. And he is very powerful. I will tell you what sort of sadhan he performed in order to attain one darshan of Krishna. And when he got one darshan of Krishna, Krishna instructed him something. So dear devotees, but Prabhupada says we should study more. The more we study, I have highlighted, the more we study the pastimes of Krishna, the more we become attached to him. And this attachment makes one eligible to be transferred to Goloka Vrindavan. So all of us want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. It is very important to study Krishna Leela. So today we are studying together Shri Krishna Leela. Dear devotees, but before I speak something, it is very important to establish one fact, that Bhagwan never eats alone. Dear devotees, we might have seen this painting of Krishna, all right? Is there any pastime of Krishna where Krishna has eaten alone? No. There is no pastime of Krishna where Krishna ate alone. Absolutely no pastime of Krishna where Krishna ate alone. So every day, Krishna and Balaram, they would go to the forest along with all the cowherd boys. Dear devotees, we are entering into a new universe, right? So we are leaving Austin, okay? We are entering into another universe. So Krishna and Balaram, every day they would go along with all the cowherd boys in order to graze the cows. So when they would enter into the forest, all of them would be together and they would all be given lots of foodstuffs by the Vrajvasis. Can you see? And Krishna would never eat alone. This is one of the practices of cultured people. Why do cultured people not eat alone? Nowadays, this practice is, sadly no longer present. Many people often, what do? They pack a box, they go home or they go to their office, and then when the box is fully cold, they open it during their lunch break and then they eat alone. But you can see how Krishna is. Krishna always eats with friends. There is a rule in Shastra, in the Vedas it is mentioned, Keval Agho Bhavati Keval Adi. A person who eats alone eats only sin. Rig Veda says, Keval Agho Bhavati Keval Adi. A person who eats alone eats only sin. Therefore, traditionally, we might have seen our parents also. Even if they used to eat alone, the first morsel they used to keep outside, reserve outside for somebody else. Some of you might have seen this. Why would they do this? They say, our parents taught us, all right, their parents taught them. And where does it originate? It originates in the Rig Veda. Keval Agho Bhavati Keval Adi. That a person who eats alone eats only sin. So therefore, Prabhupada always used to say that when a Grihastha begins eating, if nothing else, he'll call out, see outside and see if there is somebody who is hungry. Obviously, it's difficult to find someone hungry in Austin on the streets. But there's lots of homeless, but may not be outside our home. Our homes are in good areas, where homeless people may not be there. So what should we do? So always we should reserve a certain portion for some other living entities. If there is a small tree or there's some place where we can keep it, we should always keep a certain portion of that for the birds or for other living entities. Because Keval Agho Bhavati Keval Adi. A person who eats alone eats only sin. So why will Krishna not follow his own rule? Krishna will definitely follow his own. That is why he is Acharya, right? So he will never eat alone. But there was one time when all the Gopa boys lost all their tiffin boxes. This happened on the day when there was a forest fire in Vrindavan. Everybody knows there was a forest fire. And who rescued all the boys from the forest fire? Krishna. The fire was extinguished, but the tiffins were lost in the forest fire. So they have no more tiffins right now. So at that point, all the boys are hungry. And when all the boys are hungry, they will ask for food. From whom? You see, this is a big secret in spiritual life. We begin by saying that we are Das. Right? This is how we began our spiritual life. Like Sakshi Gauranga. In the spiritual world, if let's say, in this life Krishna appears to you and says, Sakshi Gauranga Das, I am very happy with you. This is your final birth. After this birth, you are going to Goloka Vrindavan. You are accepted. Right? Now, once you go to Goloka Vrindavan, if you ask anything to Krishna, can Krishna say no? No. So who is Das?
That's a good point.
So who is Das actually? Why doesn't Krishna easily accept people in the spiritual world? Because he knows these people just take the name Das. But in the spiritual world, who is the nourisher and who is the nourished? Krishna knows very well. So Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one of the 6 qualities of Uttama Bhakti is Sudurlabha. It is very rarely attained. Why? Because Krishna doesn't want to get into a relationship with a person very easily. Krishna has many hesitations before he accepts a particular jiva. Because he knows once he accepts a jiva, he cannot turn the jiva back into the material world. So when a jiva is accepted, that jiva is accepted with extreme care. And Krishna also takes some time to decide whether he wants to accept the jiva or not. So sometimes it is, and I say like this, I say in Hindi, बहुत आसानी से भक्ति नहीं मिलेगा, थोड़ा झगड़ के लेना पड़ेगा, समझ रहे हैं? थोड़ा झगड़ के लेना होगा, ऐसा है. We have to struggle a little bit with Krishna in order to get it. So आसानी से, if everything is so easy and bhakti is very easy, it's the easiest path, then why are people not attaining perfection? It is the easiest to start, not the easiest to attain perfection. That is what bhakti is easy. Bhakti is very easy to start. Anybody can start bhakti. But it is very difficult to attain perfection on the path. So dear devotees, all the Gopa boys are very hungry and they will go to Krishna, and then they are saying one thing. This is Shukdev Goswami's verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 23rd chapter, first verse. Shri Gopa Uchuhu,
Shri Gopa Uchu,
Ram Ram Mahabaho,
Ram Rama Mahabaho,
Krishna Dushta Nibarhana,
Krishna Dushta Nibarhana,
Esha Vai Badhate Kshunnas,
Yesha Vadate Shunnas,
Tachantim Kartumarhatha.
Tachantim Kartumarana,
Gopa Uchu. All the Gopa boys said. What did they say? Rama Rama. What does Ram refer to? Balaram. Okay. So, O Balaram, Mahabaho, you have extreme strength of arms. Where did you demonstrate that? We have seen in Talwan. Okay. Rama Rama Mahabaho. Extreme strength of arms. Have you seen a palm tree?
Yes.
Have you tried to shake a palm tree? Next time, try to shake a palm tree and bring down one fruit. Okay. Then we will understand who is Balaram. With one push of his arms, he brought down all the tal fruits down to the ground. Rama Rama Mahabaho. He is Mahabahu. Krishna. Oh Krishna, Dushta Nibarhana. You are the destroyer of the Dushtas, or of those evil demons. Now you destroyed all the demons, including you destroyed forest fire. Which demon did you destroy? You destroyed the forest fire. But as soon as the forest fire was extinguished, the fire got extinguished outside. There was another fire which started burning. And this fire is burning where? Inside. Esha vai badhate kshut. So kshut means hunger. This hunger is now troubling us. Tat chantim kartum arhata. Both of you should try to satisfy this hunger. See how they are demanding. Now you should satisfy our hunger. By who is Das? Krishna will say, you were ISKCON devotee in last life, or whatever. You were praying as Das. Today you are demanding from me. Yeah, because you accepted me. Okay. Whose mistake? So, this is the translation. Prabhuji.
The cowherd boy said, O Rama, Rama, mighty armed one, O Krishna, chastiser of the wicked, we are being harassed by hunger, and you should do something about it.
Right. So, this is what was happening at that point of time. They have no tiffin boxes left with them. Now, dear devotees, I would like to now introduce, as I said, the biggest gun in the arsenal. All right. So, his name is Sri Harisuri. All right. He is one of the most favorite commentators of my Guru Maharaj, Sri Srimad Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj, when he used to speak on the 10th canto. So, Sri Harisuri, his name in childhood was simply Sri Hari. His name was Hari, basically. He was given the name Hari by his parents. And he was born in Nasik, in Maharashtra. After all the commentators wrote their commentaries, this is perhaps one of the last commentators on the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was born around 1790 in Nasik, in a Kashyap Gotra Brahman family. So this is his birth, basically. And all the mantras, because nowadays we get mantras from a spiritual institution, ISKCON. Those days there were no spiritual institutions. People used to practice bhakti by their own, basically. And they have small groups, like we have a small group here. People used to have small informal groups. So he also got all mantras to worship the Lord from his family lineage. So in those days, mantras were given in family lineages. So he got mantras to worship the Lord from his family lineage, and his entire family was initiated in one sampradaya. So this sampradaya is called Naradiya Kirtan Sampradaya, and this sampradaya has come from Sri Tukaram Maharaj. We know who is Tukaram Maharaj. He is basically, Sri Tukaram Maharaj was initiated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and he started Kirtan Sampradaya in Maharashtra This is called Naradiya Kirtan Sampradaya. Now every day, Sri Harisuri had a very important role. See, he did a very good seva. This is called Chaturmas Seva. What is it called? Chaturmas Seva. What is Chaturmas Seva? Every evening, around 6 or 7 o'clock, when everybody in the town has almost finished all their work, many people will gather in the local temple in Nasik. This temple is called as Kaya Ram Mandir. Kaya Ram Mandir. It's a big temple where almost 5,000 people can gather together. Okay, so this temple, Kaya Ram Mandir, it has a big complex. Almost 5,000 people could gather together at that time. And Sri Harisuri, he was known as Hari Baba Shastri. He was learned in Chaturdash Vidya, a very learned Brahmin. Vyakaran, grammar, Chanda, meters, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Ved, Vedant, Itihas, Puran, Kavya, Alankar, Chaturdash Vidya. His gurus taught him. And he was Rigvedi Deshastha Brahman. Means his Veda was which Veda? Rigveda. When I showed you, Krishna is eating with his friends. Who said that one should not eat alone? Who pointed it out that one should not eat alone? Harisuri. From which Veda? Because he is which Brahman? Deshastha Rigvedi Brahman he is. Right. So he was the one who extracted that lesson from that particular incident. So dear devotees, he would come at around 6-7 o'clock. He would stand in the middle so that everyone can see him. And at 6 o'clock, he would begin his kirtan. Kirtan means his katha on Srimad Bhagavatam. The katha will continue for the entire night and it will end at Brahma Muhurta next morning 3:30. And he will stand because in Naradiya Kirtan Sampradaya, and you can look it up on YouTube, Naradiya Kirtan, just like Narad Muni, the Kirtaniya has to stand. Okay, like I am sitting right now. I am also performing Kirtan. But in Naradiya Kirtan, the Kirtaniya has to stand and then sing and also narrate. So he would narrate exclusively from Srimad Bhagavatam till 3:30 in the morning. If this is done for one day, okay, and then if it is done for 4 months of Chaturmasya, it is called one Chaturmas Seva. Sri Harisuri in his life did 36 Chaturmas Sevas in his life. This was his caliber. Every morning also he would Hare Krishna. Every morning Hare Ye every morning he had a very rigorous sadhana schedule. Would you like to hear about his sadhana that he performed every morning? Morning he would wake up when there is no Chaturmas Seva going on. Morning he will wake up in Brahma Muhurta. Okay, and he will take a bath in the Godavari. His home was next to the Godavari river. He take a bath in the Godavari river. After taking a bath in the Godavari river, he will chant his Sandhya, his Gayatri. After chanting his Gayatri, he will chant the entire Vishnu Sahasranam, 1000 names of Lord Vishnu. After chanting the entire Vishnu Sahasranam, he will every day recite 13 chapters from Srimad Bhagavatam in the original Sanskrit. And after reciting 13 chapters from Srimad Bhagavatam, he will perform Gau Seva, service to the cows for 1.5 hours. And only after that will he accept the first morsel of food in the day. This was his everyday sadhana. So, a nice way to keep healthy, but also a very good sadhana. He planned to do this seva for as long as possible, but he could do it only for a period of 11 to 12 years. He says in his own book that one day when he was doing the last leg of his seva, so he did it for 11 years or 12 years. In the last leg of his seva, he was doing Gau Seva. That was the final part of his seva. He was doing it one day and suddenly he received a tap on his back. And by the mere touch, he understood who it was. When he looked around, He received one darshan of Krishna in his life. So he writes in it, Itham bhuri samarthito sa bhagavan. This is his exact words. I had performed immense sadhana. Bhuri samarthita sa bhagavan. That Lord then appeared in front of me. Protsahanam me hyadat. These are his words. And the Lord then gave me immense words of encouragement. The first word that Krishna spoke to him was Arbhaka, my dear boy, I have accepted you in the spiritual world. So this was the very first words that Krishna uttered are also mentioned in his work. And then Krishna said that I want you to do something. Hari Baba, you are known as Hari Baba. I give you the title Suri because Suri means Vidwan, Vidwan Suri. So a very learned person will be known as Harisuri. Can you do one thing? You learnt all the Vedic arts, but can you use all of them to write a commentary on the 10th canto? I said, okay, what do you want me to write? Because many commentaries have been written. So for every activity that I have done in the 10th canto, there is a reason behind it. And many reasons are there, they are hidden within my heart. I know those reasons, Krishna said, but I want you to reveal some of those reasons. I will give you the seeds in your heart. Can you use your poetic abilities to express them and write a commentary? So obviously, I'll do that. This is what I think. This is why I took birth on this planet. So Krishna's last word was likha, write. And then Sri Harisuri, he wrote 4,750 verses on the first 49 chapters of the 10th canto. These verses are known as Bhakti Rasayanam. And for every activity, he has explained why. We all have heard in the Damodar Leela, why did the milk start boiling? Why? Because milk wanted to commit suicide. But who wrote that realization? I hope you are able to understand. That person's name was forgotten. His realizations are spoken here and there, but his name was forgotten. So dear devotees, it's time to bring back that person into light. His name is Sri Harisuri. My Guru Maharaj was very kind to bless me that, try to translate this commentary. So an effort is being made to translate his commentary. So dear devotees, Sri Harisuri says one thing. Why did Krishna purposely become hungry on that day? On purpose, he is acting as if he is hungry. Actually, if Krishna wants, the trees will bend down and give the fruits. Yes or no? Means yes. The first time Krishna entered into Vraja, something happened. Harisuri reminds, Krishna entered into Vraja for the first time. You see what the trees did immediately. The trees bent down and offered fruits to Krishna. So can it not happen today? Yes, it can obviously happen today. But today, it is not happening. When Sri Harisuri reminds of us of the times when trees were bending down and offering fruits to Krishna, he says, do you want to enter into the mind of Krishna and know what Krishna was thinking when the trees would offer fruits to him? How many of us would like to enter into the mind of God and know what Krishna was thinking when the trees were offering fruits to Krishna? And then Sri Harisuri composes a beautiful verse to reveal the mind of Krishna. Because Krishna himself has given all these seeds. Krishna has revealed his mind. So he composes a verse. And he shows his pristine mastery of the Sanskrit grammar, language, poetics and all branches of knowledge. And he composes a verse in the meter Prithvi. This meter is very sweet to sing. I will sing. Please repeat after me. लघूनवितगो गणानपि निरीक्षण सम्प्रति लघूनवितगो गणानपि निरीक्षण सम्प्रति नमन्ति नान्त्युरुफलार्पणे सतत विप्रसंगा इमे अहो वननिवासिनां अतिथि सत्कृति प्रेमता सुवेष्णुपदगामिता तदुचितेति मन्यामहे Krishna was thinking Laghun. Actually we are Laghu people. What was Krishna thinking? We are what? Laghu. Laghu means small in height. Laghu also has another meaning. He is playing on words here. Laghu means in society he who has a very small stature. We are small people. Chote log hain hum log. Chote has two meanings. One meaning is short in height. One meaning is we are small people in society. Avita go ganan. Krishna was thinking Avita go ganan. It is not clear if we are protecting the cows or the cows are protecting us. We are so small. Apiniriksha, still seeing us. Samprati, at this point of time. Namanti, somebody is bowing down to us. Somebody is bowing down to us. Uruphala arpanai, and giving us uruphala, the best fruits. You know what is the meaning of phala? Phala also means something. The result of activities. Somebody is offering us the best results of all their activities. Certainly it is possible for these people. Who is Krishna referring to? These trees. It is possible for these people. Why? Satata viprasanga ime. Because these trees have satata viprasanga. They are constantly in association with dvijas. What is dvija?
Brahmanas.
Are trees constantly in contact with brahmanas? It's not simple.
Even birds are
Birds are dvijas. Birds take birth how many times? Twice. Once from the egg, once they hatch out from the egg. So birds are known as dvijas. These trees have had constant association of dvijas. Therefore, they developed such nice qualities of bending down and offering the best fruits of their life. Aho vananivasinam. Look at the vanavasis, the forest dwellers. Atithi satkriti. How do they perform atithi satkar? Look at their hospitality. Actually, those who dwell in the forests, their atithi satkar is the best. Why? There are many people who stay in the cities. They also perform atithi satkar. I stay in Mumbai. When somebody comes to my home, I also perform atithi satkar. But my atithi satkar cannot be compared to the atithi satkar of the forest dwellers. Why? Because when somebody comes to my home, I offer only a tiny fraction of what I have to them. I have an entire fridge full of in many objects, but I give only little bit and say, please have. But when somebody goes to Vanavasis, whatever they have, everything they offer to the atithis. So, atithi satkriti premata. And if such love is there towards atithis, towards guests, suvishnu pada gamita, will they not attain Vishnu pada? Will such people not attain Vishnu pada? Yes or no?
Yes.
Certainly these people have attained Vishnu pada, the abode of Vishnu. Tad uchiteti. It is very befitting. Manyamahe. I say this. I Harisuri say. It is very befitting. It's a very bold commentator. It is befitting that these people, these trees have attained what? Vishnu pada. Have the trees attained Vaikuntha till now? No. One meaning of Vishnu pada is Vaikuntha. Another meaning of Vishnu pada is where Vishnu's pada, as Vaman Dev went in the sky. That the trees have attained the great heights of Vishnu pada, the sky, is very befitting, and this is my clear opinion. He is weaving two meanings together, that how to serve guests nicely and how the trees did it with Krishna, and by serving one's guests nicely, it is also possible to attain Vishnu pada. And this is very uchita. This is very befitting to all of us. Prabhuji, please read the translation.
Although we are small children, and it's not certain if we are protecting the cows or the cows are protecting us, yet these trees bow down to us and offer us the best fruits, results of their lives. Certainly, these trees must have been in constant association of dvijas, twice-born brahmanas, twice-born birds. How beautiful is the loving hospitality of these simple forest dwellers. Certainly for such trees to achieve Vishnupad, the abode of Vishnu, the sky, is most appropriate.
Yeah. So the translation sometimes doesn't do justice, the rust doesn't flow in the translation, Still I try, but the best, actually verses should never be translated. Verses should be transcreated in the heart of the audience. That is what actually does justification to the original work of the Acharyas. Sometimes we buy books thinking, oh, now I have a translation of this work. Wow, now I will read. And then we read the translation, we feel uninspired. Oh, no, I can't understand what this is. Because there is a phrase in English, much is lost in translation.
So true.
So verses should ideally not be translated. They should either be read in the original language or they should be transcreated in the heart of the audience. Dear devotees, Sri Harisuri says, on that day, Krishna willingly kept himself hungry. Yes or no? The tiffin boxes are destroyed. Can Krishna not get food from other? Yes.
Yeah.
Krishna is willingly keeping them hungry. Krishna is not asking for food from anybody else. But Krishna is keeping hungry. There is one reason why, and that one reason is specified by Sri Harisuri in his verse. What is the reason for Krishna's hunger? This verse is in the meter Shikharani, same meter as Jagannath Ashtakam. This poet is a master of all meters. This is the only commentary which is written in verses. All other commentaries are paragraphs. This is the only commentary written in verses. I will try to sing, please repeat after me. Shudho nirvanartham krita bahula yatna vrajajana.
Shudho nirvanartham krita bahula yatna vrajajana.
Shudharthopi shri shodvijavara vadukshe madrigabhu.
Shudhartopi shisho dvijavaravadushe madrigabhut.
Sputam tadvatsalyam swakamakrita bhumau yadanisham.
Sputam dadvatsalyam sakamakrita yadanisham.
Namekshudva tredva nijajana paritrana samaye.
Namekshudva tredva nijajana paritrana samaye.
Shudho nirvanartham, to relieve the hunger of Krishna. Krita bahula yatna, many efforts were put. By whom? Vrajajana. Yes or not? Yes. Still today, Shudhartopi Shri Shah, our Lord of Shri Radha, today is hungry for only one reason. He is not accepting food from anybody else, from the trees, for only one reason. And what is the one reason? Vijavara Vadhukshe Madrigabhut. His drik, his eyes is on the Kshema, is on bestowing the highest benefit on the wives of the Brahmana. This is the only reason, dear devotees, why Krishna is keeping hungry today. He is hungry today for his own devotees. Sputam tadvatsalyam. Now it is clear what is his vatsalya, his affection for his devotees. Krishna keeps hungry. Krishna actually fasts for his devotees. Is it true or not? Yes. Do the devotees fast for Krishna or does Krishna fast for his devotees? Yeah? Krishna fasts for his devotees actually. Sputam tad vatsalyam. Actually it is his vatsalya. Even when Brahma stole all the cowherd boys and calves, Krishna did one thing. He was eating and a morsel of food was in his right hand. Without eating that morsel of food, he got up with that morsel of food in his right hand and started searching for all the cowherd boys. So tell me, who is fasting for whom in the spiritual world? I told you, here you are Das. Who is rendering service there? Who is fasting there? So therefore, Bhumau yad anisham. Constantly Krishna has one thought. What is the thought? Na mek shudva tridva. I have no concerns for hunger or thirst. Nija jana paritrana samaye. When it comes to rescuing my dear devotees. Right. So this is the translation, Prabhuji.
The Vrajavasis always made great arrangements for the satisfaction of the hunger of Krishna. Yet here he is in the forest feeling hungry. The only reason behind this is that Krishna was aiming to bestow the highest benefit upon the wives of the Brahmanas. By this, the Vatsalya, affection of the Lord, towards the devotees is certainly proved. In fact, when it comes to benefiting his devotees, he doesn't care for his personal hunger or thirst.
Yeah. Now, Krishna immediately said some. This is a verse. Now we go back to Srimad Bhagavatam. What did Krishna say? Krishna replied to all of them. Prayata deva yajanam
Prayatadev yajanam
Brahmana
Brahmana
Satram Angirasam Nama
Satram Angirasam Nama
Yasate Swarga Kamyaya
Yasate Swarga Kamyaya
Tatra Gatva Udanam Gopa
Tatra Gatva Udanam Gopa
Yachatasmad Visarjita
Yachatasmad Visarjita
Kirtayanto Bhagavata
Kirtayanto Bhagavata
Aryasya Mama Chabhidham
Aryasya Mama Chabhidam
Prayata Deva Yajanam. Oh, cowherd boys, go to a yagya. Deva yagya. Which yagya? Deva
Deva
yagya.
Yajna.
Brahmana Brahmavadina. There are Brahmanas there who are Brahmavadis. Brahma means Veda. Vedavadi Brahmanas are there. They are performing sacrifices. Okay? And they believe firmly in the Vedas. So go there. Satram. They are performing a satra, a sacrifice. What is the name? Angirasam Nama. The name of the sacrifice is Angiras. For what? He asate Swarga Kamyaya. They want to attain some planet. Which planet do they want to attain? Swarga, heaven. Tatra Gatva. Going there, Odanam. Odana refers to cooked rice. What does Odan refer to? Cooked rice. Dear devotees, in Sanskrit, there are two names for cooked rice. There is uncooked rice is called Anna. And cooked rice here is known as Odana. But there is another name also for cooked rice. Bhat. Bhat is Marathi Uttam. And other languages also. Gujarati also they call Bhat. Mataji, where has Bhat, the term Bhat come from? The term Bhat has come from the Sanskrit term Bhakta. So cooked rice in Sanskrit is known as Bhakta. Okay, let's note this. Our commentator is waiting. Right? So Tatra Gatva Odanam. Go and ask there for cooked rice, O Gopa. Yachata Asmad Visarjita. And if they ask you, who has sent you? Asmad Visarjita. Say that both Balram and me have sent you. Kirtayanto, glorify. Bhagavata Aryasya. Glorify Balram, Mamacha Abhidham, and glorify my name also. So this is what Krishna told them. Prabhuji, please read the translation.
Lord Krishna said, "Please go to the sacrificial arena, where a group of Brahmanas, learned in the Vedic injunctions, are now performing the Angiras sacrifice to gain promotion to heaven. When you go there, my dear cowherd boys, simply request some food. Declare to them the name of my elder brother, the Supreme Lord Balaram, and also my name, and explain that you have been sent by us."
You've been sent by?
Us.
You've been sent by both of us. This was the instruction. Please note later if the boys will follow the instruction as it is. Okay. Or if the boys will, not follow the instruction as it is. Our ISKCON tradition is to follow every instruction as it is. Let's see if that instruction is followed as it is by the boys. Sri Harisuri comes and says, before we go there, okay, there is a secret behind Krishna's response. And what is the secret behind Krishna's response? He composes a verse in a simple meter, Anushtup, the most prominent meter in the Bhagavad Gita. हृद्वासनाशनायैका
निर्वासनाशनायैक
शक्तो भक्तसमागमः
शक्तो भक्तसमागमः
स्फुटीकुर्वन् प्रभुर्भक्त
सुखीकुर्वन् प्रभुर्भक्त
प्राप्त्यैतान् विनियुक्तवान्.
प्राप्यैतां विनियुक्तवान्.
Vijay Krishna Prabhu. Hridvasana, when you are hungry, does it not burn inside?
Yes.
Doesn't it burn your heart, your stomach? Yes. Hridvasana, ashanaya, to satisfy that hunger. Eka shakto, there is one thing which is very powerful. What is that? Samagama, collection of bhakta rice. Rice. So, sputi kurvan. In order to clarify this fact, Prabhu, what did our Prabhu do? Bhakta praptyaitan, to collect bhat, collect bhakta, viniyuktavan. He engaged all of them. Yes or no?
Yes.
Have we understood the verse?
So, sorry, Guruji.
No.
So you said bhakta is cooked rice,
Yes.
and then bhata.
It's also cooked rice.
Okay.
That's a Marathi or Gujarati term.
Bhat
Which
comes from bhakta.
Bhakta.
He said.
Oh, I thought they were two separate.
No.
Okay.
Bhakta is bhat. Have we understood the verse?
Yes.
Is there a hidden meaning?
Yes.
Yes.
Visibly back is also same.
Huh?
Visibly back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's recite the verse again. Hridvasanashanayika
निर्वासनाशनायैक
Shakto Bhakta Samagamaha
शक्तो भक्तसमागमः
Sputi Kurvan Prabhur Bhakta
स्तुतिकुर्वन् प्रभुर्भक्त
Praptyaitan Viniyuktavan.
प्राप्यैतान् विनियुक्तवान्.
Hridvasana, if you have vasana in your heart, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsari, Ashanaya, to destroy it. Eka Shakto, there is one thing which is capable. What is that? Bhakta Samagamaha, the association of all devotees. Sputi Kurvan, as if clarifying this fact. Our Prabhu, our Lord, Bhakta Praptyaitan, to collect bhaktas. The second meaning of bhakta here is rice. Viniyuktavan, engaged all these boys. Alright? So, please read that.
The only means of conquering vasana, burning of the heart due to hunger, burning of the heart due to bad desires, is bhakta samagamaha, collection of rice / gathering devotees. In order to clarify this point, the Lord sent his friends to collect as many bhaktas as possible.
Right? So, Prabhu, you have to see here. Can you see bhakta? Meanings of bhakta? Can you see here what is the meaning of bhakta?
Boiled rice.
Boiled rice is one of the meanings of bhakta in Sanskrit. This is one of the meanings of the term bhakta. Bhakta also means devotee. Bhakta also means boiled rice or cooked rice is also known as bhakta. From bhakta, the term bhat has come. Alright? So, the boys all went to Brahmanas. Okay? And we have to check one thing. What do we have to check?
They followed the instruction.
As it is or not. So the boys said, He Bhumi Deva Shranata
हे भूमिदेवा शृणुता
Krishnasya Desha Karinah
कृष्णस्यादेशकारिणः
Praptanjanita Bhadram Vo
प्राप्तान्यानीत भद्रं वो
Gopanno Ramachoditam.
गोपानो रामचोदितान्.
Hey Bhumi Deva. There are devas, gods in heaven, but there are also gods on earth. And who are known as gods on earth? Brahmanas. Because they speak the same language as gods in heaven. Devanagari, Sanskrit. Therefore they are known as what? Bhumi Deva. Oh gods on earth. Shrunuta. Please hear. Krishnasya Adesha Karina. We are order carriers of whom?
Krishna.
What did Krishna tell them?
Us.
This is half truth, half lies. Krishnasya Adesha Karina. Praptan Janita. We are arrived here. Please know. Bhadram Vo. Auspiciousness to you, O Brahmanas. Gopan, we are Gopas Ramachoditan, and Sri Balaram has given us an instruction to collect rice from you. Alright? So, originally, Krishna is the one who ordered us, and Sri Balaram has told us what to take from you, basically. So, half truth, half lies. Prabhuji, this is the translation.
The cowherd boys said, "O earthly gods, please hear us. We cowherd boys are executing the orders of Krishna, and we have been sent here by Balaram. We wish all good for you. Please acknowledge our arrival."
Yeah. So the Brahmanas, they saw these tiny boys and they continued their sacrifice. Brahmanas are chanting mantras. Gananam twang ganapatim gam havamahe Om Agnimire Purohitam Yajyasya Deva Mritwijam Otaram Ratnadatamam Agni Purve Birishabiridayo. This is going on there. Okay. They are chanting, verses from the Vedas.
ये कौन बोला?
That-
Alexa?
That's an echo, I think. Alexa liked the chanting of Alexa likes.
Watching on some.
Yeah.
Or it was my phone.
Oh,
Like, where is this echo?
Bhaktas have arrived. Please come.
With that maybe.
Yes, true. Please have a seat.
From here.
So, our commentator is asking one question. Why did the Gopas speak half truth, half lies? And who will protect the Gopas against this allegation? Our commentator says there is absolutely no reason to put an allegation on the Gopas like this. And then he composes a verse. Please repeat after me. Satyanritabhyam jivete
Satyamritabhyam jivete
Yartham yathartha drishtayah.
Artham yathartha drishtayah.
So he requires us to know many branches of knowledge in order to decode a verse. So he says Satyanritabhyam jivete. Then I tried to look up what is the meaning. Then I found in the 7th canto, Shri Narad Muni is describing the duties of all the varnas, all the ashramas. Right? In 7th canto you will find. And in the 7th canto he describes the duty of Vaishya. And Vaishya, it is described, please repeat after me. Satyanritabhyam api va.
Satyamritabhyam apiva.
For a Vaishya, it is dharmic to make a living by Satya, truth, and Anrita, lies. By speaking a mixture of truth and lies. How many of us have run businesses here? Yes. Mataji, is everything the truth? Because if you speak everything as the truth, you cannot run a business. And dear devotees, the Gopas belong to which jati? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra.
Vaishya.
So obviously they are following their Swadharma.
In the
So there is absolutely no harm if the Gopas spoke half truth, half lies. The Brahmanas but fell silent. When the Brahmanas did not say anything, Shukdev Goswami starts criticizing those Brahmanas. Okay, so now we go back to the Bhagavatam. This is the verse. Iti te bhagavatyachya
Iti te bhagavatyachya
Shranvantopi na shushrubahu
Shrimantopi na shushruhu
Kshudrasha bhuri karmano
Shudrasha bhuri karmano
Balisha vriddhamaninaha
Vaisha vriddhamaninaha
Nate yad om iti prochur
Nate yat om iti prochur
Naneti cha parantapa
Naneti cha parantapa
Gopa nirashah pratyetya
Gopa nirasha pratyetya
Tathochuhu Krishna Ramayoho
Tatochu Krishna Ramayo
Iti te bhagavat yachyam. Actually the original request was by the Gopas or by Bhagavan? Bhagavan was the one who, the original request was by Bhagavan. Bhagavad Yachya. It was Bhagavan ki yachna. Shrinvantopi, the Brahmanas heard. Na shushruhu, but as if they did not hear it, neglected it. Kshudrasha, Shukdev Goswami criticizes. They are actually Kshudra Asha, very tiny desires in their heart. To go to which planet?
Heavenly planet.
Bhuri Karmano. And then executing big sacrifice, showing that we are doing a big thing, something here. Balisha Vriddhamanina, as if small children who try to consider themselves as very big. You know, sometimes when children are small, the parents give them a kitchen set. And after they give them a kitchen set, the children in their room they'll make a, and then they'll tell the parents, don't come here, I am cooking something. Alright, huh? Balisha Vriddha Manina. So similarly, Shukadev Goswami says these people are also like that. Foolish children who think themselves to be, you know, very elderly. Now there is a rule in, they could have said we are chanting the Vedas, so we cannot speak anything in between. We cannot interrupt our chanting. But there is a rule in Shastra, even while chanting the Vedas, you can say yes or no. In order to say yes, you can say Om. What can you say?
Om.
In order to say no, you can say Neti. What can you say?
Neti.
Na iti. Neti. Okay. So, na te yad Om iti prochur. Neither did the Brahmana say what?
Om.
Na neti cha parantapa. Oh, Parikshit Maharaj. Neither did they say what? Neti. Gopa nirasha. What did the Gopas become? Disappointed. Pratyetya, returned. Tatha uchu, and described all the situation. Krishna Ramayoho, to Krishna and Balaram. Bro, please read the translation.
The Brahmanas heard this supplication from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet they refused to pay heed. Indeed, they were full of petty desires and entangled in elaborate rituals. Though presuming themselves advanced in Vedic learning, they were actually inexperienced fools. These Brahmanas neither said Om, yes, nor Neti, no. The Gopas returned back disappointed and narrated everything to Krishna and Balaram.
Yeah. And as soon as Krishna heard this, Krishna's first reaction was this. So Krishna immediately started laughing. It is called today laughing out loudly. You know? Krishna lolled out in front of the Now our commentator is rubbing his hands because he wants to ask the most important question. What is the most important question? Why?
Is Krishna laughing?
Why was Krishna laughing? Do you want to know, dear devotees?
Yes.
See, Krishna Katha is Krishna Katha. But masala maar ke Krishna Katha is something very Sri Harisuri composes a verse in one of the biggest meters in Sanskrit language. This meter is called Srag Dhara. Srag means long garland. Dhara means a lady who's wearing a long garland. So every line is a long garland. And I'll try to sing it. I'll have to break it in parts. So you can please sing after me. Yasmin abhyasadardhyam.
Yasmin abhyasadardhyam.
Vachasi tadavashad asyato nishprayatnam.
Vachasi tadavashad asyato nishprayatnam.
Nirgachatyesha sarva.
Nirgachatyesha sarva.
Nubhava iha yadonneti vanuchurete.
Nubhava iha yadonneti vanuchurete.
Tatkidriksyadamisham.
Tatkidriksyadamisham.
Pranava parichitirneti netiti vastva.
Pranava parichitirneti netiti vastva.
Deshasya ved.
Deshasya ved.
Yakrita sasadayo vismaya tatra hasyam. When first time I was searching for this book, Bhakti Rasayanam, I went to almost, many parts of India and I asked many scholars. There was one scholar who had this book, one copy of this book, but he refused to give it to me. He said, what is your qualification? What have you studied? Degree. So I said, I studied MTech in computers. So he humiliated me by saying, he said in Marathi, Tula ओळ सुद्धा वाचता येणार नाही. You will not even be able to pronounce a single line in this work. Forget about translating it. So the day I was humiliated, that day I decided, all right, now, after this, I will ensure that if I have taken initiation in Sri Jiva Goswami Sampradaya, I will try my best, to translate this work. Sometimes some humiliation is required. So, this verse is in the longest meter, Sraddhara. Have you heard this meter anywhere before? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. That's not a paragraph, dear devotees. That's a verse in the longest meter, Sraddhara. Alright, so this meter we should know.
Sridhara.
Srag, Srag, Srag,
Shrag.
Srag, Srag,
Sradhara.
Sragdhara, Srag means garland. Okay. So, anyways, let's come back to the subject matter. We should not go into Chanda right now. Okay, so why is Krishna laughing? Sri Harisuri says Krishna was thinking something. See, he has entered into the mind of God. And Krishna is thinking something. Yasmin abhyasa dardhyam. जिसमें अभ्यास अच्छा होता है. If you practice something repeatedly. Vachasi tad avashad. From your mouth it comes out helplessly. Is it true or not? Yeah. Many times you see devotees, even they sleep, they do it. Right? Sometimes you might have seen this.
Yes.
Why? Because abhyasa dardhyam. The drid abhyas is there. So vachasi, from their mouth, avashad, helplessly, bebas hoke. Asyato nishprayatnam. They don't require any effort. Nirgachati, it comes out. Esha sarva anubhav. Everybody's experience is this, right?
Yes.
But yeah, iha yad, but here, yad om neti va nochurete. Neither did these brahmanas said om, nor did they say neti. So Krishna is thinking, I have created two paths in the Vedas. Pravritti marg and Pravritti marg is known as what? Path of attachment, and Nivritti marg is known as path of. On Pravritti marg, a person reads the Vedas because he has material desires, chants the Vedas, offers sacrifices to the god so that he can go to heaven. This path is known as which path? Pravritti marg. On the detachment path, a person becomes detached. Okay, he reads the Upanishads, tries to understand what is Brahma, the absolute truth, and then tries to become liberated. These are the two paths, Pravritti marg and Nivritti marg. Now Krishna is thinking, I have created two paths. One is Pravritti, on which a person chants the Vedas to go to heaven while offering sacrifices. He has to pronounce again and again. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama. Om Varunaya Swaha Idam Varunaya Idam Namama. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idam Namama. Om 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 Om. I hope you are able to understand.
Yeah.
And on the Nivritti marg, one chants the Upanishads, and the Upanishads describe Brahma as Neti, 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 not this, not that, not this, not that. So Krishna is thinking, these Brahmanas seem to have neither mastered the Pravritti marg, nor have they mastered the Nivritti marg. Poor Brahmanas lost everything in this world, and they are also going to lose everything in the next world. Thinking this, our Krishna started laughing.
If a person is habituated in a particular branch of learning, then the teachings that he has learned come out naturally from his mouth without any effort, and everyone is aware of this fact. However, these brahmanas neither said Om, yes, nor Neti, no. Seeing this, Krishna said to himself, these brahmanas seem to have neither studied the path of pravritti, attachment to the world by chanting the Vedas, nor the path of nivritti, detachment from the world by chanting Upanishads. Thinking in this way, the merciful Lord laughed upon the brahmanas.
Yeah. So, dear devotees, Sri Harisuri says there is a very important lesson for all of us here. Krishna is laughing on the Brahmanas, but there is a very important lesson for all of us, especially for those who are Adikaris. For those who are what?
Adikari.
In Hindi, what is the meaning of Adikari?
He is qualified.
Very nice, Mataji. What is the meaning of Adikari?
Higher position.
A person who occupies a higher position in any institution is known as what? Adikari. The Brahmanas are thinking in the institution of Varnashram. We are what? We are Adhikaris. You know, So Sri Harisuri is warning all adhikaris. Everybody who thinks I have a high position is warning something. So this instruction is especially for those who are having high positions anywhere in any society. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam. Yavaneshvadhikaritāgraha iha pradmatamanosthyalam. Pradmatamanosthyalam. Tavamsteshvadhikaritāgraha iha prayo mamapyastihi. Tavamsteshvadhikaritāgraha iha prayo mamapyastihi. Sri Harisuri says, Krishna is thinking. If a person thinks in this manner, please repeat the statement. I am Adikari. Then Krishna also says, yes. Please say, yes.
Yes.
You are
Adikari.
Adikari. Did you understand?
Adikari.
Adikari.
Please hear carefully. If somebody says, I am what? Adhikari, authorized person or a big manager. Krishna says you are also Adhik, great. Ari, enemy. Yes, I agree. You are Adhikari. The more a person says, I am Adhikari, Krishna also says, yes, I agree. Huh? You are Adhikari. You are a bigger enemy to me. So the more a person thinks in this world, Sri Harisuri is telling everybody that the more a person thinks that he or she is Adhikari, for Krishna they become Adhikari.
Unless Krishna gives that adhikar to you.
Yes. But Krishna gives Adhikar, that's agreed. But if a person starts thinking
Yes.
that Krishna has given these Brahmanas the Adhikar, by birth he has given them the Adhikar, that you chant the Vedas. But these people are now thinking that I am Adhikari. Huh? Therefore Krishna says, all right, you are Adhikari. So then Krishna told these boys to approach the wives. So this is in the Bhagavatam. We're going back to the Bhagavatam now. Mam gyapayata patnibhya sasankarshanamagatam dasyanti kamam annam vaha snigdha mayushitadhiya. So he said, Mam gyapayata patnibhya. Now go and inform about me to the patnis. Who are the patnis? The wives. Sa Sankarshanam agatam. That I have come along with whom? Sankarshan, Balram. Dasyanti kamam annam. They will give you all the anna that you desire. Everything that you desire. Why? Snigdha. They are very dear to me. Actually, Krishna knew these wives of the Brahmanas, they had love in their heart for Krishna. They were experiencing a stage of love which is technically called Purvarag. What is it called? Purvarag. When the lover and beloved are yet to meet, they are very hesitant to meet, they have a desire to meet, but they cannot meet because of social restrictions. That stage of separation is technically known as what? Purvarag. Today's society, all the Purvarag is destroyed. Why? Because as soon as you like somebody, immediately go on Facebook, look up their profile, find what they like, find what they dislike, find a few videos by them, and then you know what they are, and then there is nothing left to ask. So today's society has destroyed the feeling of Purva Rag. So Purva Rag is there. So Snigdha Mayushitadhiya, they have given their hearts to me. This is what Shukdev Goswami spoke. This is the translation.
Lord Krishna said, tell the wives of the Brahmanas that I have come here with Lord Sankarshan. They will certainly give you all the food you want, for they are most affectionate towards me, and indeed, with their intelligence reside in me alone.
Right. So the boys went to the wives of the Brahmanas and they said something. The boys said to the wives of the Brahmanas, Namo vo viprapatnibhya.
Namo vo viprapatnibhya.
Dear devotees, this is from the Bhagavatam. Okay. Please repeat the translation after me. Dandavat pranams unto Brahmana wives.
Brahmana wives.
Namo means Dandavat pranams. Unto Viprapatnibhya, Brahmanas wives. Okay. Sri Harisuri, did you read the translation? Yes.
Yeah.
Read carefully. Please repeat after me. Danda pranams unto Brahmana wives. Did you get it, Prabhuji? Mahabhav Prabhu? No? Let's read it again. Danda pranams unto Brahmana wives. Harisuri is saying there are two terms, danda and pranams on the left hand side. There are two terms on the right hand side, Brahmana wives. So dear devotees, what it means is danda unto Brahmanas and pranam unto wives. Every verse is awesome. Danda unto Brahmanas, pranam unto wives. The boys are predicting the future. In the future, all sadhus who will speak this katha will criticize the Brahmanas, and all sadhus who will speak this katha will offer pranams unto the wives. Mataji, you missed an wow moment.
I was giving her.
No, I just. So, dear devotees, Sri Harisuri says, what message did the Gopas want to convey to the wives of the Brahmanas? He in his own words, he conveys the message to all of us. The message of the Gopas to the wives of the Brahmanas. This verse is by Sri Harisuri. पूर्णकामस्य तस्यास्मिन् वने चारयतस्तु गाः नापेक्षमन्यत् किन्त्वेका भक्तेः सैव पूर्यताम्. The Gopas are saying to the Viprapatnis, Purnakamasya, our Lord is Purnakama. What is the meaning of Purna Kama? All his desires, kamnas are Purna, fulfilled in all desires. Tasya Asmin, but still here, Vane, in this forest of Vrindavan, Charayatastu, he is controlling and herding the Gaha, he is controlling and herding the cows. Na Apeksham, so he has no other expectation. Anyat, Kintu Eka, but he has one expectation. Bhakteha, desire for rice. Saiva Puryatam, please fulfill that desire. We understood the verse? Did we really understand it? No. So dear devotees, the first meaning is the Gopas saying to the wives of the Brahmanas. The second meaning is the Gopas are saying to all of us sadhakas. Purna Kamasya, our Lord is fulfilled in all desires. Tasya Asmin Vane, but still he is roaming in this forest of material existence. Is the Lord present here in this material world with all of us?
Yes.
Where? Charayatastu Gaha, herding or controlling all the go. One meaning of go, Prabhupada said, is cows. Another meaning of go is senses. Na peksham anyat, he doesn't expect anything from you. Into eka, one expectation. Bhakteha, you become a bhakta. Saiva puryatam, please fulfill that desire.
The Lord is Purnakam, fulfilled in all desires, and he is roaming around in this vana, forest of Vrindavan, forest of material existence, while taking care of the go, cows or senses. He has no other expectation except one, and that is bhakta iha, desire for rice, desire for bhaktas. Kindly fulfill this desire.
See, simple verse. But it is, unless there is a wow in every verse, we have not understood Sri Harisuri. So then Sri Shukdev Goswami describes the love that these wives had. We are now reaching the ending sections. Okay. So Shukdev Goswami describes. Shrutvachutam upayatam
Shrutvāchutam upāyatam
nityam tad darshanotsuka
nityam tad darshanotsuka
tat katha kshipta manaso
tat katha kshipta manaso
bahuvurjata sambrama
bahuvurjata sambrama
chaturvidham bahugunam
chaturvidham bahugunam
annamadaya bhajanai
annamadaya bhajanai
abhisasruh priyam sarva
abhisasru priyam sarva
samudram iva nimnagah
samudram nimnaga.
Shrutva achyutam upaya, hearing who has come? Achyuta has come. Nityam tad darshanotsuka, they are utsuka, always eager for his darshana. Tat katha akshipta manaso, their minds were overtaken by Achyuta's katha always. Babhuvur, suddenly they became jata sambram. What should we do? What should we not do? You know, just like if somebody says, Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada has arrived here. Jata sambrama, you know what? Immediately there will be sambrama. Let's say Srila Prabhupada turns up here. What will happen to all of us? You know, jata sambrama. Immediately we will experience sambrama. What to do, what not to do. So what did they do? Chaturvidham bahugunam annam. They bought anna, foods. Not only bhat, they bought chaturvidha anna.
4 types.
What are the 4 types?
The food that can be chewed and
Please repeat after me. Bhakshya,
Bhakshya,
Bhojya,
Bhojya,
Choshya,
Choshya,
Lehya,
Lehya.
Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada. Bhakshya, that which is chewed by the teeth and then gulped down. That is called as what? Bhakshya. For example, roti, sabji, dal, chawal, that is broken by teeth and then gulped down. Second is bhojya, that which is directly gulped down, yogurt. You don't need to chew it with teeth. Bhojya. Choshya, that which is sucked. For example, juices. Lehya, that which is licked, like chutney. I hope you are able to understand. Bhakshya, Bhojya, Choshya, Lehya. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada. This is a clear indication that these Brahmana wives are actually gurus. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, because only Guru does this function. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada. Swadvanna Trittan Hari Bhakta Sangha Kritvaiva Triptin Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charan. Annam Adaya Bhajan, they bought in beautiful pots, golden pots. Abhisasru, they ran Priyam Sarva, all these dear wives of the Brahmanas. How did they run? Please hear the analogy carefully. Samudram eva nimnagaha. Just as nimnagaha, rivers, rush towards the Samudra, ocean. Here is the translation, Prabhu.
The wives of the Brahmanas were always eager to see Krishna, for their minds had been enchanted by descriptions of him. Thus, as soon as they heard that he had come, they became very excited. Taking along in large vessels the 4 kinds of foods, full of fine tastes and aromas, all the ladies went forth to meet their beloved, just as rivers flow towards the sea.
Just as rivers flow towards the sea. Sri Harisuri says, why did Sri Shukdev Goswami select this analogy? Just as rivers flow towards the sea. You see, this is what they did, and this is the analogy. Can you see how the rivers flow towards the sea? Sri Harisuri says at this point of time, when a river rushes to meet the sea, a river knows that it is going to lose the 2 most important things that it has in its life. A river is going to sacrifice 2 things to the ocean. Nama and Rupa. The river is going to sacrifice 2 things towards the ocean. What are the 2 things? Nama and Rupa. After she meets the ocean, will she be known by her name?
No.
After she meets the ocean, will we be able to distinguish her Rupa?
No.
She is going to offer 2 things to the ocean. What are the 2 things? Nama and Rupa. Similarly, these Brahmanas' wives also knew that we are Sabhyajana. We are civilized Brahmana wives. If we go and meet some other person besides our husband, then our nama, our name will be spoiled in society. but we are going to offer all our rupa, all our beauty to this Lord. So we are offering at the lotus feet of Krishna our good name, our nama, and our good beauty, our rupa. For this reason, Shukadeva Goswami could not think of any other analogy other than rivers rushing to meet the ocean. Shri Harisuri says, let the entire world say that these Yagya Patnis met with Parapurusha. Parapurusha means husband of some other, a man besides one's husband is called as what? Parapurusha. But, oh Viprapatnis, you should gladly say that we met with Parapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let everybody say that you met with a Parapurusha. But in your case, you can happily say that we met with a Parapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Brahmanas saw their wives come back, Krishna sent back these wives actually. When Krishna said, thank you very much, you gave so much to me. Now, can you do one thing? Can you do what? Can you return back home? Can you return back home? We left everything, Now, what are you telling us? Go back home? So that time, Sri Harisuri, he takes sides with the wives of the Brahmanas. And he is a bold commentator. He composes a verse giving a sharp criticism against Krishna. Okay. So, Sri Harisuri says, he takes the sides of the wives of the Brahmanas. And on their behalf, he is saying, we were simple ladies. We had no other desires. We came offering everything unto you. We left everything and took your shelter. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now you are saying, return back to your samsara. हिंदी में घर संसार रहते हैं ना, return back to your samsara, to your household life. Oh Krishna, today we will return back to our samsara. But today, your Shrutis, your wives are the 4 Vedas. Please tell them that what was written in them, that anybody who takes your shelter doesn't have to return back to samsara. Those Shrutis are today falsified. Today we will go back, but your Shrutis lied. So we will go back to our samsara. But tell the Shrutis that they should not be able to go back to their samsara today. They should not go back to their homes today. You know why, Prabhu? All the Vedas reside in whose planet? Brahma's planet is known as which loka? सत्य लोक में झूठ बोलने वालों का निवास नहीं होता.
They cannot go back.
Satya Lok is not a place for those who lie.
So then what happened to
This is a kataksh on Bhagavan. Today we will go back to our homes. Tell your Shrutis, today they should not go back to their homes, because today the Shrutis have proven false. There are other historical reasons why Krishna did not accept, because Krishna did not want to set an incorrect example. Krishna was born in which dynasty? Vaishya Jati. And these are whose wives?
Brahmanas.
And marriage between a Brahmana boy and a Vaishya boy and a Brahmana girl, that is called as Anulom Vivah or Pratilom Vivah. Pratilom Vivah, opposite. Anulom is recommended in Shastra. Pratilom is not recommended. It leads to Varna Sankara. And that same Lord who is going to speak against it in Bhagavad Gita, will that same Lord do that same thing with in his own life? No. For this reason, Krishna sent them back. These are historical reasons. But what Harisuri did is, took the opportunity to throw a pebble at Krishna at that point. And it is important to throw these pebbles from time to time by commentators. That's how you know that a devotee is a Raganuga Bhakta. So the Brahmanas, when they saw their wives returning, they expressed regret. This is the verse, this is one of the final verses. Athanusmritya vipraste
Anusmritya vipraste
Anvatapyan kritagasah
Anvatapyam kritagasaha
Yad Vishveshwarayoryachyam
Yad Vishveshwarayoryachyam
Ahanman Ribidambayo.
Ahanman.
So, Prabhuji, please read the translation.
The Brahmanas then came to their senses and began to feel great remorse. They thought, "We have sinned, for we have denied the request of the two lords of the universe, who deceptively appeared as ordinary human beings."
See, now Sri Harisuri, he sees that the Brahmanas are expressing regret. So nobody will take sides with these Brahmanas. He knows nobody will take sides with these Brahmanas in the future. But Sri Harisuri is born in which family?
Brahman.
So for once, he takes sides with the Brahmanas after they have expressed regret. So he prays on the behalf of Brahmanas to the Supreme Lord. O Lord, we Dvijas, we are whom? Shastra describes, Brahmano vai mukhamasit. Dvijas took birth from your mouth. Kshatriyas took birth from your. So we Brahmanas, we Dvijas took birth from your mouth. And if we Dvijas give pain to you, to your mouth, because we didn't feed you, no? We give pain to your mouth, will you become angry?
Yes.
See, there are Dvijas born in your mouth. And if these Dvijas who take birth twice, they give pain to your mouth, do you become angry on those Dvijas?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Have you become angry on your teeth? When you have bitten yourself? No, no? You never uprooted your teeth na, after you bit yourself. Similarly, we are also Dvijas. We took birth from your mouth. If we ever hurt you, dear Lord, please do not become angry on us. Finally, Sri Harisuri says, all this pastime was going on, but there was one thought in my mind. This is the last verse of the day, dear devotees. All this pastime went ahead, but my mind was occupied in something else. He composes one verse. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, his last verse. Annena dvijayoshitodyavanyam kritva sakrit satkritam.
Annena dvijayoshito vyavanyam
kritva sakrit satkritam. Prabhu saukyamalam babhuvura pita sadvarnya bhagyashrita. Prabhu saukyamalam babhuvura pita sadvarnya bhagyashrita. Tasmin Shri Yadunayake vidadhatam nityam sadishtarpanam.
Tasmin Shri Yadunayake vidadhatam nityam sadishtarpanam.
Bhagyam vaktum asheshato vrajajusham tesham nasheshopyalam.
Bhagyam vaktum asheshato vrajajusham tesham nasheshopyalam.
Words are dancing. You see Anupras alliteration. Last line. Asheshato vrajajusham tesham nasheshopyalam. Words are dancing. This is his mastery over the language. So, Sri Harisuri is saying, Annena dvijayoshita. These wives of the Brahmanas gave 4 types of annas. Adhyavaniyam, today in this forest. Kritva sakrit satkritam. How many times have they fed the Lord? Once in their lives. How many times in their lives? Once. Sakrit, once. What was the result of feeding the Lord once? Prapuhu saukyamalam. They achieved great happiness. Babhuvur apita, and they ensured that something will happen in the future. What will happen in the Sadvarnya Bhagyashrita? All the sadhus who speak on Srimad Bhagavatam will speak their glories. Yes or no?
Yes.
Tasmin Shri Yadunayake vidadhatam nityam sadishtarpanam. Now, if offering food once to Krishna in your life has such an effect, I am thinking about those people who are offering food to Krishna thrice every day. Bhagyam Vaktum, to speak of their good fortune. Who are they? Asheshato Vrajajusham, the residents of where? Vraja. Their good fortune. Tesham na Sheshopyalam, even Ananta Shesh will be defeated in speaking of their good fortune. Ananta Shesh will someday complete the glorification of Bhagavan. But Ananta Shesh will be defeated when it comes to describing the glories of Vrajavasis. This is the translation.
The wives of the Brahmanas fed Krishna only once. By doing so, they achieved the highest bliss. Moreover, the saintly souls will speak of their good fortune for millenniums to come. Now, when I think of those Vrajavasis who fed our Lord sumptuously thrice a day, I honestly believe that in describing their good fortune, even Ananta Shesh will be completely incapable.
Yeah. Thank you very much, dear devotees.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you were mentioning about like we shouldn't be eating alone.
Yeah.
So does that include like even if you're eating as a family, should we
Eat with family at least.
family at least? Okay. Should we offer it to birds or
No. If you are at least eating with some few people,
that
should share your whatever you have earned.
Okay.
Share, because Grihastha, all ashramas in the world, all living entities in the world are looking with great expectation towards one ashram. Which ashram is that? Grihastha ashram. They are looking with great expectation. The brahmachari, he is looking with great expectation towards the Grihastha. The sannyasi, the vanaprasthi, they are looking with great expectation. Not because they are beggars. No. Because Bhagavan has made all of us Grihasthas Adikaris. But we should not think that we are Adikaris. Otherwise Krishna will really say that you are Adikaris. So Krishna has made you Adikari. So carry out the Adhikar. Carry out the duty. Give with your own hands. Purvadatta tu ya vidya, Purvadattam tu yad dhanam, Purvadatta tu ya kanya agre dhavati. Everybody understands Hindi here? Yes. पूर्वदत्ता तु या विद्या, पहले जन्म में जो विद्या आपने दी किसी को. पूर्वदत्तम तु यद धनम, पहले जन्म में आपने जो धन दिया किसी को. पूर्वदत्ता तु या कन्या, पहले जन्म में यदि आपने कन्या दान का महापुण्य कमाया. अग्रे धावती, अगले जन्म में आपसे पहले भाग के ये तीनों उपस्थित हो जाएंगे आपकी सेवा के लिए. ठीक है? Very important. When you are giving to somebody else, let's say he is a qualified person. He is, but let's say he is a qualified person. There is no meaning. Let's say he is you give $50 to him. Are you losing $50? Bolo. Not technical. From a rational point of view, you are losing $50. Yeah. But according to all the Shastra, when you are giving, you are technically giving not to him. You are giving to yourselves in your next life. To whom are you giving? Yourselves. Why are some people born very rich? Why are some people born very poor? Suppose you are giving and the person who is receiving is also you. How much will you give?
All of
Everybody should give more and more. We need someone.
Yeah. So let's say there are so many projects for the Brahmanas, like the temple is a project, We are giving for the temple. To whom are we giving? We are giving to ourselves in our next life. Consider yourself as a devotee who will visit the temple in the next life. Of course, you don't want to get the next life. But if Krishna's desire is, then in your next life you will have all the ready facilities for you. Somebody else has done it for you. So give with that mindset. Okay. And
the person we are giving has to be a qualified person.
Of course. दातव्यम, भगवद गीता सात्विक दान, दातव्यम इति यद दानम दीयते अनुपकारिणे. When a donation is given by a person without उपकार भावना, you know what is उपकार भावना? यार देखा न दे रहा हूँ, समझ? हाँ, मेरा नाम बताना 3 लोगों को, ठीक है? हाँ. देशे काले च पात्रे च, सही देश में, सही काल में, सही पात्र, सही पर्सन को, तद दानम सात्विकम. नेवर एडवर्टाइज योर डोनेशंस. इफ पॉसिबल नेवर एडवर्टाइज. धर्मः क्षरति कीर्तनात्. धर्म नष्ट होता है धर्म का कीर्तन करने से. धर्म नष्ट होता है धर्म का कीर्तन करने से. क्यों मंदिर में गुप्त दान का पेटी रखा जाता है? धर्मः क्षरति कीर्तनात्. धर्म जो है क्षरित होता है, धर्म बह जाता है उसका कीर्तन करने से. नेवर, always give without any expectations. Give as if you are giving to yourself in your next life. 50% तो दोगे ना, 50% ये लाइफ के लिए रखोगे. इसलिए प्रभुपाद बोलते थे give how much percent? 50%. Not 50%, whatever percent is possible, give without the feeling of, you know, being the doer, being an adhikari. That is. Okay?